Welcome back to this series of conversations at the Dark Reading News Desk at RSA. Terry Sweeney here with Dark Reading, and joining us now is Manish Gupta, CEO and founder of ShiftLeft. Manish, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me here, Terry.
Your company is obviously called ShiftLeft. Tell us what you mean by that.
That's a great question. We came up with the name well before ShiftLeft was ever popular. To me, it has to be measurable. Cybersecurity, we don't measure things often enough.
Mm-hmm.
We continue to buy new tools, spend more money, but we don't know what the outcomes are. And so I think your question is great. What does ShiftLeft mean? To me, it should mean what percentage of vulnerabilities are you fixing, which should be ever higher, and what is the mean time to repair, which should be ever lower. If you can achieve both of those things, application security is happy because you're reducing risk, mean time to repair is low, which means developers are spending less effort, so they're happy. Both sides are happy, and that gives rise to DevSecOps, which is what ShiftLeft enables, DevSecOps.
So the old IT adage that you can't manage what you can't measure seems to apply in this security context as well.
Absolutely. You can't get better at what you don't measure. You're absolutely right. And often I'll ask my prospects, people I'm talking to who've been doing application security for 15, 20 years, can you tell me what is the percentage of vulnerabilities that you're fixing? And to date, Terry, I've not gotten an answer.
Well, say more then about the value around shifting left.
Yeah, it's a hard question. Like, Manish, why are companies able to do this with you? I think I equate this to, like, if you use a smartphone, Apple, Android, whatever, like, why are you using that device? And I doubt you can give me like one thing. It's most likely going to be several factors, such as, well, it's a beautiful device, it's secure, it's fast, I love to have it in my pocket, it has multiple applications. Well, it's the same thing. It's experience that we can create for our customers that consists of many different things. It is fast, it is highly accurate, it is 2 to 3 times more accurate than anyone else. We provide for every vulnerability a detailed data flow so that a developer doesn't have to go anywhere else. He can just look at the data flow and just know, this is why this vulnerability is there. We are an API-first platform. We can be hooked into anything. For every vulnerability we find, we give you a detailed context of what it means. How should you go about fixing it? So there are many such aspects which collectively change the experience of our customers, allowing them, therefore, to fix 76% of vulnerabilities in 12 days or less.
Wow. With that in mind, in your conversations with customers and developers, summarize for us the largest application security concerns that you're hearing.
The largest security concerns, unfortunately for application security, have always been the same. How do I get better at fixing vulnerabilities? In yesterday's world, where we were not SaaS, we were not CI/CD, we were not developing as fast, we were not deploying code into the cloud, application security vulnerabilities had less importance. People were therefore more focused on the top 3 priorities of cybersecurity: network, endpoint, identity. But with SaaS, the world has completely changed. It's software, it is applications that are driving majority of the revenue. It is the software that is increasingly deployed in the cloud. It is this very software that is being changed 50 to 100 times a day. And therefore, the going forward priorities are going to be endpoint, application security, the new kid on the block,
Sure.
And third is identity.
With that in mind, how do you address the common criticism around just the conversation of application security, that it's a drag on performance, it impedes innovation, it gets in the way of getting our products out there faster? I'm sure you hear these things all the time. How does shifting left address that?
I love that question, Terry. You're absolutely right. Seen at the surface, that's what it seems, that application security, if done well, would slow down innovation. But it's the opposite that is true. We see it in our customer base, this report that people will get to read soon, which is the experience of all our customers put together, which is what shows that on average, our customers are fixing 76% in less than 12 days. The fix rate goes higher, not lower, the fix rate goes higher as software development pace increases. Because with the legacy tools, finding and fixing vulnerabilities was laden with friction. With ShiftLeft, we changed the experience completely so that every time code is changed, this is now an opportunity to fix a vulnerability. And so the faster, the more changes you are making, the faster you're fixing vulnerabilities and reducing technical debt. Look, some of our customers are doing 30,000 scans a month.
Wow.
That's like 1,000 scans a day. That gives them 1,000 chances to fix the vulnerabilities that they've created.
So it sounds like there's no excuse.
There is no excuse whatsoever. For the first time, you're right, we can both innovate, we can be fast at delivering feature functionality to our customers because that drives value, but also do it securely because that drives down risk.
Let's shift gears a little bit. Prioritizing vulnerabilities is, of course, important to every organization. That kind of triaging is a common practice and function in just about every SOC that's out there. ShiftLeft is focusing on the attackability of a vulnerability, which is an interesting term. I'm wondering if you can break that down for us, like help us understand what attackability is and what it does to prioritizing vulnerabilities.
Yeah, attackability in short is risk-based prioritization. It's very similar to the term that is often used in the context of infrastructure vulnerabilities. We call it exploitable.
Okay.
So for example, you run a Nessus scan, you find 1,000 vulnerabilities. Every CISO dreads the first day they run a Nessus scan because they're now being told 1,000 vulnerabilities. They almost want to feel like, man, why did I run the scan in the first place? I was so much happy when I didn't know that I had 1,000 vulnerabilities. But that is where the industry started. Today, the industry has matured to a point where we look at which of those 1,000 vulnerabilities can be reached by a bad guy from the outside, and that we call exploitable. The same notion, when applied to application security, means attackability. And so that's precisely what we do. This is one of our key differentiators. We are the only company that I'm aware of that takes your entire application, not bits and pieces. So if your application consists of custom code, libraries, APIs, we take all of that, we put it together, and very much like an attacker would try to attack this application from the outside, very in the same way, we look at this application from the outside in to see what vulnerabilities can an attacker exploit. It is this that we call attackability. Now, if the improvement was 5%, 10%, it would be ho-hum. I wouldn't be so excited. But across our customers, again, the same report that we were talking about earlier, we find that 3% of the vulnerabilities are attackable, meaning the other 97%. AppSec folks in the audience, you're wasting your developer time by asking them to fix 97% of the issues that they don't need to fix.
That's a pretty powerful proposition.
It is indeed. It's like 2 orders of magnitude better almost.
Shifting gears yet again, your AppSec progress report has been recently published, original research that ShiftLeft does. Can you give us a summary of some of the findings, some of the salient points that emerged from that?
3 key things, but before I give you the findings, Terry, I'll tell you, when I started the company, having been in cybersecurity for so long, I wanted to do a company that made a difference. And to me, in the world of application security, what makes a difference is not finding vulnerabilities. We've done that for 20 years.
Sure.
We got to get better at fixing vulnerabilities. So I've always challenged my team that we have to constantly measure whether our customers are indeed fixing a higher percentage of vulnerabilities using our technology. Because if they're not, then we haven't delivered. And that to me is the biggest achievement that I see, and I wait for this report every time it comes out. So the 3 key stats. Our customers are fixing 76% of the vulnerabilities in a mean time to repair of 12 days or less, and that's an average. There are some of our customers who are fixing 95% of the vulnerabilities in 5 days. That's number 1. Number 2, 3% of the vulnerabilities are attackable.
Okay.
3%. The third, average scan time of 90 seconds. Fourth, our customers are running as many as 30,000 scans a month. I could go on and on, but I think you asked me for the top, so here they are.
Well, great stuff. And again, terrific insights into application security and getting smarter and more strategic about how companies approach that. Manish, thanks for coming by the Dark Reading News Desk today.
Thank you, Terry. This was a pleasure.
We've been talking with Manish Gupta of ShiftLeft. This has been Terry Sweeney for the Dark Reading News Desk. Thanks for joining us for this conversation. We'll see you next time.